Welcome to Franklin Almanac. I'm Polikseni Manxhari. This is our 8th edition of Almanac, a compendium of life in Franklin. As always, we'll bring you important stories. What's happened, what's happening, what matters. While the summer is a time for outdoor activities and cleaner eating, it's also a time for conversion. For most of us, that means converting from spring to summer clothes. But for the town of Franklin, that means conversions to make the town a better place. In this episode, we'll talk about all of that and more. Franklin welcomed summer with fresh strawberries and shortcakes topped with whipped cream at their 15th annual Strawberry Stroll. The event, hosted by the Franklin Downtown Partnership, brought together local and surrounding businesses who wanted to show what they have to offer. And in turn, residents came to see businesses they may have never known existed. It was the first time in 15 years that Main Street Franklin was closed off in honor of the event, something the partnership finally coordinated with town support to create a more walkable, more enjoyable Strawberry Stroll. This allowed for more businesses, music, and of course, more room for strawberry shortcakes. This year's Strawberry Stroll also celebrated how the event has come to be an annual favorite. Former president of the Downtown Partnership, Nicole Fortier, said the stroll was originally a festival. Let's take a look.
So this is the 15th annual Strawberry Stroll. Can you give us a little bit of background on how it began?
Sure. It was much smaller than this, and it was a little bit more artsy at the time. So we kind of did it like the vision with Jane Curran, who was the original starter of the partnership. She had a vision of bringing the arts into it, which we're trying to come full circle with. So this originally was a festival, so it was a little bit different. It's kind of evolved over the years, but it hasn't gotten smaller, it's gotten bigger. It brings everybody from the community and the outside of the community down to downtown Franklin to remind people of the local businesses that are down here, the mom and pops, so to speak, that are trying to bring Franklin back to life. And I mean, what better place than this beautiful downtown?
We're all about eating more fruits and vegetables, so any festival that is centered around vegetables and fruits, particularly fruits that everybody loves, we know that we've got a captive audience to bring home the message of better healthy eating.
So tell us a little bit about the business and the organization. We'd love to hear more about it.
So Juice Plus is an international and national franchise independently owned by franchisees, and we are on a mission to spread the word about healthy eating, inspire families to get healthy, to eat better, eat cleaner, take back their health, take back their wealth. We've got a business opportunity for people to increase their wealth as well as their health.
The way our whole community or nation is now with so much obesity and diabetes, the one thing that helps with all of these things is lots of fruits and vegetables and antioxidants. And Juice Plus is one easy way I find to get all my daily fruits and vegetables.
I think if you can bring a lot of different opportunities and businesses and awarenesses to the community that may not normally go into these buildings, or things like a Juice Plus franchise. We're not a storefront. They wouldn't know that we exist unless we put ourselves out into the community, get out, talk to people, share our education with them, and have a presence to add value to their lives.
It's called LuLaRoe Charles, and it's a clothing store boutique. And what we do personal shopping, we do home parties, and I just love to dress people up, so that's what we do.
What inspired the idea?
I learned about LuLaRoe and I tried on the clothes, and I found that things made me feel really confident, and that's not necessarily what I found when I went to stores. I just like the cut of the clothing, and it works for all different types of body types.
So what inspired you to get involved?
Just supporting my wife. It was something that she wanted to do, and I figured, something great we could do as a family and together. And I wear some of the clothes too that are unisex, so this is stuff for the guys, so it's good stuff.
So there's a bunch of businesses here helping to promote themselves. So how do you think that the Strawberry Stroll promotes Franklin and other businesses here as well?
I think it just shows what a great community we are. We're all about supporting one another, and it's just a great way to meet your local business neighbors, your regular neighbors. It's just a really wonderful atmosphere.
People from the area, local and outside, will get to see businesses that they may have driven by and didn't realize they were there. So it gives them the chance to interact with the business owners and get an idea of who's out there.
I'm really excited about our strawberry stroll. We have over 70 vendors. First time since we've had our main street closed down, and I believe over 30 musicians performing today. My favorite part is that we actually have succeeded in getting about 15 classic cars over in the Black Box parking lot, which is a first. There are some additional cars over in the Historic Museum who are having a great wedding bridal exhibit. I love the fact that this brings all the community businesses and residents to the downtown Franklin area to show off our beautiful downtown, and the fact that we've just had a really wonderful streetscape improvement project completed. I'm a resident of the downtown, so for me it's really great to see all these people come out and support it, because I regularly walk downtown from my house, which is down the street. So to see everybody else who gets to enjoy what I enjoy every day, it's really great.
This year's Strawberry Stroll brought together over 70 businesses, 30 musicians, and about 2,000 people, double the attendance of last year's event. If you would like to know more about what events are coming up, visit www.franklindowntownpartnership.org. A new show about the issues facing seniors in Franklin is taking the town by storm. Senior Connection with host Nan Rafter is following in the footsteps of another beloved resident. Stella Gian stole the hearts of Franklin residents as she hosted her show, Senior Circle, for 10 years, where she discussed all the issues affecting senior citizens in the community. She was even known as the Barbara Walters of Franklin. Since Stella's passing in 2014, the Franklin Senior Center felt it was ready for a new show and host to continue Stella's legacy. And that is when Nan Rafter came along. I sat down with Nan after the filming of her second show to learn more about her journey to television. All right, Nan, well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today regarding your new show.
Thank you.
Senior Connections.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's start by getting to know how you got into doing the show.
Yes. Okay. I picked up the phone. Yes. Karen Alls, from the senior director, called me and asked me if I would consider doing a senior show.
Okay.
And they had been hoping to have a senior show for a while. Stella Gian used to host the Senior Circle,
Right.
and she hasn't been with us for a few years. And I guess the Council on Aging and Karen felt that it was time for a senior show. So she called me, and at first I wasn't really sure what she was saying. So I hung up the phone, and then I called her back, and I said, "No,
Like a double take.
yeah, let me clarify this now.
Right.
You're saying this," and she's like, "Yes," because at first I thought it was just like one show that I was going to come on and do a show.
Exactly.
So I said, "Well, I need time to think about this." So I did. I thought about it, and I have found in the past that when I think about things, it either goes one of two ways. Either I get really excited and ideas start to come, sometimes even 2 o'clock in the morning, which isn't a good thing. Or I start to get very fearful, and I say, "Oh no, this isn't good. I can't do this." So the longer I thought about it and prayed about it, it took on a life of its own, and I was starting to get all these ideas, and finally I said, okay, I'm going to say yes.
Great.
So that the ideas will stop coming right now. So it
wasn't a quick decision.
No, it wasn't. It was, and I have found in my life that I do not make quick decisions, and that's better than making a fast decision and then regretting it afterwards.
Right.
So I made the decision, and I have so far had no regrets.
Great.
So I'm very excited about this.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned Stella, who was the host of Senior Circle,
Yes.
and Senior Connections is following in its footsteps.
That's correct.
I want to know, what is it like to follow in Stella's footsteps?
Oh, big footsteps. Yes, I know Stella was just this incredible lady, and she just meant so much to so many people in Franklin. She was like this icon. And there's no way that I can follow in her footsteps. But what I can do is I can bring all that I learned from Stella
Right.
to the program. And in doing that, and you know what? I don't think Stella would want me to follow in her footsteps.
She wants you to be your own person.
She wants me to be my own person.
Right,
That's right, because she was her own person.
Exactly.
So I think that I feel in my heart that she would be happy that I am doing this, and that I will continue to carry on somewhat of her legacy.
Sure.
You know, we have different styles, and I am really looking forward to that. So I think it's exciting, and again, she taught me a lot, and she taught me humility, she taught me courage. So I have learned, and she also taught me to kind of push the envelope.
Sure, of course.
You know, and
you have to nowadays.
You have to, right?
Right.
And so I think this show will be pushing the envelope and bringing on people, and I think it's going to be exciting.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you've known Stella for a long time, and she's made a huge impact in the Franklin community.
She has.
Share with me one of your greatest memories of her.
Okay, I have a couple. I knew Stella when I was a little girl. I used to go to her dad's store, variety store, and get my penny candy, and she was very, very kind to me. So that's when I first met Stella. But I think my fondest memory was when she was actually dying, and she called me, and she called me to say goodbye, and she told me that she was giving me this very special gift that she had gotten in Italy, and it was a plaque of the Blessed Virgin Mary and baby Jesus.
Wow.
And because of the work that I have done at the church and helping people through the church, she wanted me to have this. And so it made me cry.
Of course, that's so special.
It's very special. And I look at it every day I'm at work, and I just smile, and I remember Stella.
Right.
But that was a special memory. And she thanked me for all that I have done for people, and I was in turn able to thank her. So we went through a couple of the things, the committees that we had been on, and shared some laughs. And I had some tears.
Of course.
And it was nice for both of us to kind of have that time together to celebrate each other and to honor each other.
Wow.
So that was probably my very special memory of her.
And it shows a lot of who she was as a person. I personally never met her, but just hearing your stories, it tells me everything I need to know about who she is, and I think that's just so amazing. Now, I know that you just started with the show.
I have just
second
started.
episode,
Yes.
and just ready to just soar.
I am.
So where do you see the show going, and what do you envision its future to be?
Well, I'm gonna see. I have a few ideas. I would like to do some different things, some mobile things. I would like to have like a living senior connection, which is the newsletter.
Okay.
And maybe go door to door and show people out there what's going on here at the senior center, because this place is amazing.
It is.
And so I would like to do that. I would like to make the Senior Expo come alive for those that are home that haven't been able to come to the expo,
Sure.
and maybe interview some of the vendors.
Great.
And I would like to do that. I would like to again do some, being a nurse. I would like to do some education. I like to educate. That's kind of in me.
Sure.
And so things that are happening out there for seniors, and as you know, things are changing every day.
Very much.
So has people come in and talk about what's going on and how they can access services.
Exactly, yes.
What are the differences between an assisted living and a long-term care facility?
Right.
All the questions that I'm asked, I want to answer here on this show.
And,
So
and that'd be so helpful to everyone.
I
in the
think
community.
so. I think so, because
Great.
there is like this maze of going through healthcare, and
It's overwhelming.
and it's overwhelming, and it's
Right.
scary.
It is.
You know, it's scary, especially when you get older and you don't want all this change.
Right.
You want to just settle in.
You just
and
want it to be like it always
happy.
is. Right.
And let it be the way it was.
Right,
And it's
exactly.
not.
I know.
So if I can make that a little better for somebody,
Sure. Make it easier and
make
smoother.
it easier,
Yeah.
I think that would meet my goal of having this show.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you the best.
Thank you.
And I know that Stella's looking down on you, and I'm sure she is honored to have you as the new host. And we wish you all the best, and it's such a pleasure to meet you.
You too.
So thank you so much for taking this time to speak with me today.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
it. You can watch Senior Connection right here on Franklin TV on Comcast 8 and Verizon 26. Check our program guide at franklin.tv for Nan's next episode. Harvey Nasuti was not only born and raised in Franklin, but also committed his time to over 18,000 sports games as a volunteer and coach. A veteran and fan of everything Franklin, the town honored him with a plaque dedication ceremony at Fletcher Field on June 21st. Surrounded by loving friends and family, Harvey was able to officially leave his mark in the town he dedicated his whole life to.
Well, Harvey's been a three-sport athlete in high school. After that, he served his country for 3 years in the service or so. I don't even know how long, but he was in the service for 3 years. And then he came back, and he's been a town employee for 40 years after retiring. He coached many teams from the 60s through the 70s, and then after that, he was always at one of the games, all the games. He says, and the best way to describe Harvey is if you wear Franklin across your chest, Harvey's your biggest fan. By all means, and that's why we wanted to dedicate something like this to him, which he grew up right up the street. This is where he played many games, no matter be football, basketball, or baseball. So he played plenty of games down here. So this is a great place for this award, this dedication to take place.
So can you tell us a bit about what this dedication and award represents?
Well, it's more for all the years that he was coached. He was also a big supporter of the halftime players way back when he would organize it for the football game. At halftime, you'd come up, you'd buy stuff, and then he would dedicate all that money back to the football players. And not him alone, but him and a group of his friends from Franklin. And that was quite an honor. And anytime you needed anything or any of the sports things, Harvey was the one to do it.
What makes Mr. Nasuti so deserving of this award?
I think it's his whole life. He's in his, I think he's like 83 or 84, and he's dedicated his whole life to Franklin. He's never, he worked at Franklin. I mean, the DPW, he made sure the fields were always perfect for the kids, and all the years he coached, there's no question when it came to giving an award to Harvey, this is where it belongs, and this is really his field.
I coached CYO basketball, coached the league for several years. I coached and refereed football in Pop Warner, and I stuck with it. I think in the last 10 years, I had 22 baseball games this year, high school last year. They dedicated the field for me. I threw out the first ball. I would say in the 22 games, I probably only missed 17. Baseball, I'm going to Legion games now. I think out of the basketball games, followed them all the way to the state finals. The last 10 years, I probably ever missed 15 games. Hockey, my grandson was on the hockey team when they won it in the Garden last year and this year. So, I love sports. Anything. Tell me there's a game here and I'll go. Knowing what I know about my physical condition now, this is an outstanding boost for me. This is going to make the rest of my time outstanding. All the families here, so many friends, and it just, my heart feels like it's going to jump out of my chest. It's hard not to get emotional over it, but it's great. I don't know, I can't say enough about what the family and the friends have done to me today.
Harvey was honored with a plaque for his service to the country, his service to the town of Franklin, and his tireless support of Franklin athletics. If you'd like to visit, the plaque can be seen under the flagpole at Fletcher Field. Congratulations to Harvey, Franklin's #1 fan. According to Consumer Reports, LED light bulbs can last up to 15 years versus the current high-pressure sodium lamp streetlights, which last only 3 to 4 years. The other incentive? Most towns that install LED lights consume less energy, saving substantially for the same service. So it's easy to see why Franklin decided to switch over. At their May 24th meeting, Town Council unanimously authorized $650,000 to borrow for the project, which will replace over 1,600 streetlights. The town's decision to use LED lights instead of the traditional bulbs will cut their current spendings by more than 50%. Deputy Town Administrator Jamie Helen says the money the town saves from power could be implemented in other important areas of town. Let's have a look. Well, I just want to thank you, Jamie, for taking the time to talk to us today about the new LED lights that are going to go up all over the town.
Sure, my pleasure.
So I know that the town has been thinking about doing this for a while. Why now? Why is this the right time?
Well, really, at the end of the day, the town's been looking at doing replacing its streetlights to LED for some time. The state, Governor Baker put out a grant program in the winter for 30% off all labor and materials for the transition from current streetlights to LED. So it was really an offer the town couldn't really refuse. So we really jumped on it right away. 30% grant program is about $150,000 in savings.
Oh, wow. So
really,
that's pretty significant.
That's a lot of money.
Right.
And really, at the end of the day, it helps us get the payback within about a 4 or 5 year time period.
Okay.
So it cuts it in about half.
Okay.
From what if we didn't have the grant program.
Exactly.
So really, that was the big incentive. So I give a lot of credit to the legislature as well as Governor Baker for being able to put out a program like this to help cities and towns incentivize conversion of the old sodium lights to LED.
Wow, that's great. So I know that LED has a lot of benefits, obviously. One of them is that they last for 15 years as opposed to the regular lights that last like 3 to 4 years. What are some of the other benefits of it, though?
Well, that's a pretty big benefit in and of itself.
It's the biggest one.
But, you know, it also, LED lights consume a lot less energy.
Right.
So we're going to see, right now, the town of Franklin spends about $110,000 to $115,000 a year in its operating budget for the current streetlights.
Okay.
We're estimating, in working with National Grid, that if we transition all of our current lights to LED, it'll be an operating budget expense of about $40,000. So it's going to save the town.
That's a lot.
It's quite a bit of money. It's going to save the town about $75,000 a year.
So it's a big one
in its operating budget. And you know, I like to always say these are the types of little things that we do on a really a weekly, monthly basis in town hall to try to move and save money over here, so we can continue to invest in other areas of the town. It's really part of our modus operandi, if you will, that we have to do this kind of innovation, creativity kind of initiatives to really be able to continue to deliver the high level of services to the town. So, you know, it may sound like a small thing, but, you know, saving $75,000 a year over the lifespan of some of these lights, you know, is really going to pay back and allow us to continue to spend money in other areas that we need to. Police, fire, DPW, schools, you name it. So, yeah, it's a pretty significant amount of savings. So again, we're going to see a payback of this in really 4 or 5 years, which is a really short amount of time. Usually it takes about 9 or 10 years to get the payback on it. So it really cuts it in half. And I should also note that the National Grid, most of the utility companies in Massachusetts also want you to convert to LED because it costs them less money.
Of course.
So they actually incentivize cities and towns as well to do this kind of work. And so we estimate about $100,000 in utility savings when it comes to the town too. So
that's so great.
And that comes in the form of a raw payment. $100,000 check, you know, that we put in there that'll help us reinvest in maybe a couple of police cruisers or you know something else, you know, investments into the ball fields, whatever that might be. So really, it was really a no-brainer. At the
Yeah,
end of
it
the
does
day.
sound like it.
Yeah.
So tell us about the process. When can we expect this to begin and be completed as well?
That's a great question. So it's going to be about a year time frame now that the council, because the town council's approved the initial funding.
Right.
It's going to take about a year. So right now, we just met with the consultant last week in the office, and he's going to get his team together and come out here and do what's called an audit.
Okay.
And what they're going to do is go around by a truck and do an audit on every single street light that we have in town.
Right.
And they're going to map it with a GPS locator, so we'll be able to have a mapping component.
Wonderful.
And a variety of other data that we currently don't actually have. Kind of geeky, nerdy things like the position of the pole, the height of the street light.
It all matters, right?
All of these little
exactly.
things. They're going to go out and do that. So that should be completed by around Labor Day, sometime in September, October.
Great.
And then what we're going to do is once we have all of the data, we're going to sit down with the consultant, and what we're going to do is map out the design of actually what they're going to look like. Now, they're not, for the average resident, they're not going to know much of a difference.
Sure.
The big thing is actually the actual bulb itself.
Got it. Right.
So we're going to go through a design phase probably next fall, early winter. Street lights do vary. We're here on a beautiful side street here in Franklin, where all of the street lights are going to be pretty much the same. But you also have to think about streets like West Central, East Central, where there are big intersections. So sometimes public safety wants to have some input into exactly how much light those lights give out.
Sure.
So that if there are emergency scenarios, obviously some of the larger roads in town have a different wattage at which the light produces out. So, so we're going to go through a design phase, and then actually next winter, the team will then go up in January, February, March, and April, and actually go around town and install all of the new Cobra heads and all of the new lights. So that should take them about 4 months.
Great.
And you did hear me right. They're going to go out in the dead of winter and do this. I had to
Be
check
prepared
that.
for the spring.
I had to check that with the consultant many times. And said, "Oh, really? You send your team out?" Absolutely. Yeah. So we're looking at probably May or June of 2018 and really wrapping up the whole program. We have about 1,700 lights in town.
Okay.
So it is a big project. But we're really excited to get it going, and we're very happy to have the consultant on board.
Great. Well, we look forward to it, and we're very excited to see what's to come.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
This project is estimated to be complete by June 2018. At that time, all streetlights and public buildings in Franklin will be 100% LED, helping to give our town a brighter, more modern look. Take a moment to think about my next question. If every accomplishment begins when you make the decision to try, then what's stopping you from achieving your goals? While fear and rejection is a large reason why people don't grab life by the horns, self-doubt is ultimately the greatest enemy, killing more dreams than failure and rejection ever will. So many people often assume that because something hasn't been done, it can never be done. But to believe something is impossible is to make it so. Who says you can't find a cure for cancer or be the next president of the United States? Anything is possible, but only if you have the confidence within yourself to actually try. Many people who fail to chase a dream often wonder what they could have been. Don't be left wondering. Be the one who went for it. All of your dreams, including the ones people call impossible, are within reach. Take a risk. Break the rules if you must, because really, it's the people with the craziest ideas who change the world. And remember, it's okay to blow your own mind in the process, because only then will you truly understand what you are capable of achieving. This wraps up our 8th edition of Franklin Almanac. As we continue to bring you more stories, feel free to email us at almanac@franklin.tv and let us know what you'd like to see. We'd love to hear your story ideas for our next episode. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. For Franklin Almanac, I'm Polikseni Manxhari.